So, Solo Leveling first episode is out, and I must say I was pleasantly surprised. I thought that they were going to be rushing the pacing. That's not the case. It has fluid animation, it looks great, all around great episode. Now, they did place some scenes in there that weren't in the manhwa, at least not in the way that we were introduced to them, but they were great. For example, the Jeju Island raid, which is the scene at the beginning where they're fighting against the ants. That island was called Jeju in the manhwa. I am not sure if they're going to be changing the names of the islands and the area from what it was in the manhwa, because there were reports that they were going to change the location from Korea to Japan. I am not sure yet though, because they did not mention any cities in the episode itself. And there were also reports that they were going to change names, but that's not the case. The names remain the same in the anime as well. So I'm not 100% sure what they'll do about the surrounding area. So the episode starts off with that raid, the Jeju raid as it's called in the manhwa, where you see Yoon-ho and Byung-gu and a few others, Choi, doing their best to eradicate the ants. And as you can see, those ants are in the real world. That's because of a dungeon break. What happens when a dungeon break is that the monsters that were in a specific dungeon are able to now enter the real world. That happens if the dungeon is not conquered within 7 days. This scene was the reason I thought they were going to be rushing the pacing, because Yoon-ho and Choi and those other S-rank hunters are not shown in the manhwa for quite some time. This raid is canon to the story, but you were just told about it later on. You were never shown how it actually played out. And I think that's fine, because it does a great job of introducing the audience to what exactly a hunter is capable of. We also got to see a few different classes of hunters. You got to see the healer in Byung-gu, the strength type and slash transformation type in Yoon-ho, and you got to see mages such as Choi. All in all, it was a great scene. We also got to see a scene from the testing facility where they measure your mana and then determine your rank, whether it's from S to E. And that scene was also not in the manhwa, but it is also a great introductory scene. It helps you to understand how persons are measured and then ranked. The scene with Hunter Cha was also anime original, but I am not mad about it. The episode covered about 4 chapters of the manhwa, and it did stay pretty faithful to the source material. They have not changed the names or anything like that. And as stated before, I'm not sure about the names of the cities and the country in which the setting is going to be. The episode was pretty good. You know, it started just as it did in the manhwa, where Jinwoo enters an E-rank dungeon, and in that dungeon he got hurt by a goblin. They then managed to defeat the boss of the dungeon. They realize that the dungeon is not disappearing. They find a tunnel, enter it. Then they realize that the area they just entered is definitely not E-rank, and now they're going to try and figure out a way to escape this area. This part of the anime will be quite interesting. You might want to take note of this area, because we will revisit it. It will be very important later on. I am not going to spoil you, but this area is very much important, and it has some ties to Jinwoo's power. So yeah, this area, you want to take note of it. I was hoping we would get to see the smiling statue that is so iconic in the manhwa, but we didn't, and that's fine. we'll get to see it next episode. It was all in all a great episode, and I hope they stick to this type of pacing and don't rush it. But I have some faith in them now, because the trailer did mislead me a lot. I thought they were going to be rushing the pacing and then trying to end the story a lot quicker than it is meant to be. But I was pleasantly surprised, and I'm looking forward to episode 2. So let me know your thoughts below. If you like the episode, if you like the animation, what are your thoughts?
Bye. Have a great time.